Wi-Fi. All right, so what is this? What is this deck doing? What do we got? We got some Doom Whispers here. We got some Moment of Cravings. We got some Plaguecrafter, some Rekindling Phoenix, Experimental Frenzy, Dismissive Pyromancer, discard a card, draw a card, deal 4 to the creature. Seekers Squire. It's just kind of like red-black playables, basically. Worth noting that Rakdos is one of the guilds that we are waiting for the dual lands for in the next set, so we do not have a Blood Crypt in this deck. Doom Whisperer plus Frenzy is the manage. What's going on, Scholar? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Doom Whisperer plus Frenzy. So, like, Whisper lets you, like, power through and play cards off the top of your deck. The Explorer's pretty good, too. Wanted to ask you about how to not drop frames with OBS. If you're dropping frames, it's a connection issue. So either your Wi-Fi is dropping out, or your internet's dropping out, or somewhere between you and the Twitch server, something's dropping out. The reason I'm assuming I just dropped a small amount of frames is the Wi-Fi card for this computer is actually this like 8-year-old netbook that sits on top of the tower here, and it's got the connection bridged via the Cat 5 cable, but it works well enough, so I'm not messing with it. It drops a couple 2-3 frames on occasion, but other than that, it's a-okay. Opponent goes first. Seems fine. It's funny. So, like, at one point, I actually, like, went and bought both a wireless card and a, this wireless, like, actual wireless bridge thing. Like, it was designed to be a wireless bridge, and they both worked worse than this netbook that I had. That netbook's had, like, almost a year's worth of uptime at one point. It just doesn't go down. That's in issues on Twitch side. Please refresh your browser. Good night, Jeff. You had fun despite those games being medium. Usually they're a bit spicier. What's going on, Brecken? Thank you for all the absurd support tonight. I appreciate it. Be sure to let me know if there's anything else you want to kick into the queue. Forgot the Stream Decker update, did I? Sounds like something I do. It's late and I'm on a different computer. Thank you for the push. I appreciate it. Stream Decker should be good. Am I normally streaming right now, or is this me having fun? Well, I am having fun because both Arena and Standard are kind of awesome, but I am going to be doing a Wednesday night stream every Wednesday night moving forward. I'm not sure if I'm going to go quite this late every week, but I'm going to do something close to this. I think my plan is to do at a minimum. I think I'm going to cycle a land here. At a minimum, I'm going to stream from about 8:30 p.m. till about midnight. It's currently midnight 45 here in the cornfields. One of the upsides of being your own boss, I gave myself tomorrow off so that way I can play late this evening. Yeah, this was the first, this format is the first format that the play design team had their hands on, right? If I'm not mistaken. All right, so they're like missing land drops, right? So do I want to just like lightning strike their stuff and start attacking them? I kind of just want to like kill your thing, attack for 2. I can't do 24 hours because in about 5 hours from now, Declan is going to wake up, and then I have to get help my wife get the kids ready to go to daycare for the day. In vain. At any rate, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support there. I appreciate that. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way and keeping me employed this month. The play design team is basically a group of ex-professional Magic players from both the Grand Prix and SCG circuits that Wizards of the Coast hired to help test their constructed formats, basically. Because for those of you that are not familiar, the standard formats that we've had for the last couple of years have been really bad. Are you always in favor of killing the mana elf? Nope. That's one of the things. Magic players like mental shortcuts and like ultimatums, like always do this, never do that, and just like that's just like not how Magic works for the most part. Like, Magic's an interesting game because those you always need to do this or never need to do this, those situations don't come up a lot. The answer to those questions are, it depends most of the time. Awesome, I'm glad to hear you're loving the standard content, and thanks for the support for it. Wizard tests their constructive formats. They test standard, they don't test modern. They're pretty upfront about not testing modern, to be fair, though.
Go ahead.
Gonna rummage the swamp here.
Consider it done.
So I need to like figure out how aggressive I'm gonna be this game. I feel like I can't be that aggressive, so I think I want to take this some pointed here. This could go either way. I think.
Good hits.
I think I want to scry before I Seekers Squire. That's gonna stay right there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and Squire and show that to them. I'm a 2-3. They could have a Doom Whisperer of their own here. They could also potentially have, yep, there's a Doom Whisperer. So, do I jam my own Doom Boy? I kind of want to attack with this Rekindling Phoenix into this, because then if they block, I get to go ahead and just shock it to finish it off. I think I like that to start. And then if they don't block, I'll slam my Doom Whisperer up. And if they do block, I'll just activate the treasure map plus shock here. So, like, that's less resource efficient, but, like, taking their Doom Whisperer off the table feels profitable for me. This is, like, kind of a 2-for-1, but, like, the Rekindling Phoenix threatens to come back next turn. And even if they do spend a removal spell on this, then it's, like, a 2-for-2, and I think a 2-for-2 is okay for me here. Actually, it's funny. The play design team, in a way, kind of kickstarted my streaming. When Shion stopped streaming to go be on the play design team, that was part of what gave me my kick to start streaming more. I was like, well, there's one of Magic's big streamers that left. Probably leaves a hole for other people to start streaming more, and it kind of did for me. The rest is history, as they say. Wow, am I just gonna, like, get this Phoenix back next turn? It's really good for me. Treasure map doing work here. We talked about this card being good in Singleton. Seems pretty good in Standard as well. Moment of Craving. I mean, with the Moment of Craving, I get to run back the play I did last turn, right? Just, like, get the Phoenix back, attack, they block, and then I, like, do their thing and give it 2-2. What's going on, OP? The animation is A+. And again, if they don't block, then they take 4, and I, like, put this Doom Whisperer of my own into play. Seems profitable for me. I feel like I'm having deja vu, opponent. I feel like, have we been here before, you and me? I'm so hungry, opponent. I crave blood. I crave this demon's blood. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Maybe they just, like, assumed I was bluffing this time because they called last time, so they didn't think I didn't think they'd call again. You don't have to bluff when you always have it. It's one of the many upsides to being lucky, chat. If you always have it, you is this gonna kill my Phoenix here? I assume this is shooting my egg. Poor egg. Poor egg. You get a treasure, and you get a treasure. Everybody gets a treasure. So, unfortunately, Vraska can just, like, shoot down my Doom Whisperer here, which really sucks. I think I'm going to start by attacking this into here and see what they do. Memorable bluff. I don't know. I'm fine with them killing Dismissive Pyromancer here. This is a matchup where Frenzy's probably kind of a tough squeeze, right? Because they have both Vraska, Relic Seeker, and Vivian to destroy it.
Crew, attack at will.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Right? I mean, it was easy. It was easier to brush off the bad games of Magic that occur in Modern when there wasn't like a really good alternative. And like now that Standard is like kind of absurd right now, it's like tougher to like stomach or like bite down on like the games of Magic that are bad in Modern. I don't think I'm gonna take a full break from Modern, but I definitely think I'm gonna dial it back just a hair. Maybe I'll probably scale back some of the decks that I accept, probably just like up the quality requirement basically. Probably start rejecting some Modern decks a little bit more aggressively. When did I start on the night shift? This is the first week of me doing night shifts. I've been doing night shifts with some consistency moving forward. Every Wednesday night and then some Fridays as well. Huh, so, I think I'm going to start with a rummage here. This only does damage to creatures, right? Yeah. Yeah, I always do wrap-up segments at the end of my videos. You can find those on the YouTube channel as always. These planeswalkers out of this green black deck make this Doom Whisperer just look incredibly embarrassing. Fight with fire deals 5 damage to target creature, deals 10 damage divided by any number of targets instead. How many lands do I have? This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm binning that. Poke Vivian for now. Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of really short, brutal games in Modern, is the best way to phrase it. Short and brutal. We're not gonna come back from that one. Let's move along to the next one here. I don't think that's true, Kenny. I don't know that this deck necessarily has the tools to be super competitive against what the opponent's doing. We'll see. We've got some good tools out of the sideboard here, but like the blue-back deck that I've been playing has felt very good in this matchup, for instance. This deck might have a too much turtle a little bit too. One of the things that like comes down to like the average card quality in the red-black deck is very high. Or the green-black deck is very high, and like the average card quality in this deck's a little bit lower. Like not all of our cards are quite on the same power level necessarily. What's going on, Ed Hawkish? Good evening. Welcome to the party. Been going for almost 5 hours now. Got this is gonna be our last deck of the evening, I think. Need one more trim here. Trim a square, maybe. I'm new to the stream. I just finished watching your League of the Plant Devoted deck, and I wonder what your thoughts on the Bant deck with the Knight combo added in. I'm really not a fan of Knight of the Reliquary in Modern. I think Knight of the Reliquary is kind of a slow, clunky card that just like isn't really worth its casting cost. I think Knight's one of like the many like kind of trap cards in Modern. It's like clunky and not quite good enough. So for those that are new to the stream and not familiar, wondering about some of the card choices in this deck, I have this wonderful card choice command. For those of you, the TLDR on that is, for those viewers at home maybe watching on YouTube in the future, this is a viewer submitted deck list. So unlike other streams, I guess some streams are, more people are starting to pick up on the donation thing. Basically, almost everything we play here is a viewer submitted deck list. So the people that support my content kind of dictate what we play. They pay my salary, so they might as well be my bosses. It's a little bit rough on the mana. I think I keep this. Probably better than going to 5. Peace Veneer, have a good one. Using the green-red infinite Polyraptor deck. I've not. Kent was streaming that the other day though, right? Maybe. The blue-white decks have not felt oppressive to me. So far I've kind of felt like every deck that I really want to beat, I have the tools to be able to beat. Rid of that one. I hate Field of Ruin in Standard. What did Field of Ruin do? This is such a good curve. The Wild Growth Rocker Explorer engine in this this green black deck was a good find. I want to use Primal Amulet and have a good time, but it feels so attacked. Did you see the Esper Amulet deck that we played on stream? It felt really sweet. So Choops isn't good enough here. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't Chupacabra and kill my 2/3. I guess that doesn't really matter, then their attack is still bad. If I play this out, it gives Chupacabra a target to kill. So, like, do I even want to play this out? I don't think I do. I think I just, like, pass here and, like, use my Field of Ruin on their Overgrown Tomb to, like, get my second Black Source going. Have I played an Artifact deck? I have not. And you really don't have to specify Arena. This is just Magic's normal standard format. So it's identical to the format you would play at an FNM or a Grand Prix or Magic Online or an Open or anything like that. So the next SCG tournament I will be attending, I'm going to be at the Invitational in Roanoke in the beginning of December. I am actually thinking about attending the Grand Prix in November though. There's a standard Grand Prix in Milwaukee which is drivable for me, and this standard format is kind of awesome. And I kind of want an excuse to go play standard. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Contempt this, then just like smash them, I think. Yeah, we played a couple of leagues with the Steamkin deck. You find them on my YouTube channel. If you don't have time to watch the entire league, you can cut to the end where there's a wrap-up segment and get my thoughts on the archetype. As always, basically everything I stream gets archived to the YouTube channel. Because I don't play music while I stream, nothing gets muted, so you can find my full thoughts and all the gameplay there. And usually in the video description, in addition to posting the deck list that we're playing in that video, I also post links to various things, like, or I post links to, like, where the matches start and list what the matches are. Stealing their Wild Growth Walker and sacking it seems great. Does it really, though? It really doesn't seem particularly good. Just like, I'm using this as like a gain 6 plus like kill their thing. That really doesn't seem particularly good enough. I guess if I do that and they don't play another threat out, I can then Eldest Reborn and kill their Doom Whisperer. I know one of their 3 cards is Ravenous Chupacabra. No, they binned the Chupacabra, so I don't know if they have a Chupacabra. I guess I just like go double Dismissive Pyromancer here and pass. I guess I'm just gonna go double Dismissive and pass. I was thinking I knew they had Chupacabra, but that's not true. Because if I knew they had a Chupacabra, it would be flipped up because Magic Arena is awesome. All the cards that are revealed to you, it tracks where those cards go, so you don't have to exert mental energy writing them down or tracking it on your own. What's going on the stacks? Yeah, running a little bit late today. I'm gonna be doing every Wednesday evening moving forward. I don't know that I'm gonna be this late into Wednesday every week, but most weeks I will be on for at least a little bit. Alright, that's a Contempt. I guess I just pass. Maybe I should have held a Dismissive Pyromancer in my hand. I guess I can Pyromancer, kill the Wild Growth Walker, and then I can Eldest Reborn off a Doom Whisperer here, which would be nice, and then like I can Contempt the other one. I kind of just want to like get this Contempt going, like get like this other Rekindling Phoenix back perhaps. Let's see, that's incredibly aggressive. All right, since they're attacking with both of these, I need to change my sequencing here and just get rid of one. Just like bye friend. Yeah, that's true. The way I played did not play around Finality, which is what killed us the first game. Fine Finality is such a sweet card. The split cards are all quite like pretty fantastic in this set. Like people were really pumped about like going back to Dominaria, but really it feels like this return set was like better than Return to Rev or whatever it's called was better than this. Do I think Esper is better than straight blue white? We actually just got done playing Esper. I don't know that I'm a big fan of any of the what's it called? The decks that just like don't have win conditions in them. They feel a little clunky and awkward. Alright, so the Wild Growth Walker is getting large. I'm probably gonna Angrath and steal this next turn and just like smash them. How do we feel about that? Ooh, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this and like grab the Wild Growth Walker here and just like smush for 8. Is there a reason the Phoenix didn't block? Yeah, if they had a removal spell, they get rid of the Phoenix permanently. And these have trample, so like risking losing my Phoenix permanently for the sake of gaining 3 life didn't seem worthwhile. Is there a deck you'd recommend? I would recommend checking out the blue-black control deck, the blue-black operative deck I've been working on. I wrote about it in my article this week. So like they're gonna get to kill the Flame Chained on the backswing here, but I think that's okay, right? Because it like killed their creature, it dealt them 4 points of damage, and then like it baited an attack basically. So like kill your thing, deal you 4, gain 6. It seems like a fine trade for me. I don't think anything's overpowered. One of the sure signs that like the format's really interesting and has a lot going on. I've heard people complain about basically every deck in the format. They're just like, this is too good, this is too good, this is too good. It's like, well, if everything is too good, maybe it's all just fine and we should just like calm down. I don't think so. I feel like I'm too high of a health total for them to be able to ignore it. How do you feel about a Dubs block on this Jade Light Ranger? Dubs block forces them to Assassin's Trophy, but I don't know that that's a bad thing. I'm just going to take the hit. I probably want to set up the ability to Dismissive Pyromancer this, and then Eldest Reborn this off the table. Of course, they also have this Memorial to Folly sitting here on the table, and they have a Carnage Tyrant. And that's a biggin, chat. Alright, let's take their Assassin's Trophy here. Chupacabra. Brutal. I think we're dead. I feel like this is going to kind of be... The green-black deck is kind of like setting the bar for like what mid-range decks need to do in this format. Feels like if you're not going to be able to keep up with like what the green black deck is doing, you're just gonna like die in a blaze. We're actually dead? No, we're not. We're not dead on board. We're not dead to known information. I have a block and a kill. I can cycle this Duress. I don't know that I have outs next turn, but I'm gonna take a draw step here. So, in my large amounts of experience playing lots of Magic the Gathering, I really don't think Carnage Tyrant is that offensive. What I think what people are gonna do with the card Carnage Tyrant over the course of the next weeks and months, people are going to complain about Carnage Tyrant because their decks are bad. Basically, is what it's going to come down to. Like, rather than just like working on their deck or admitting like their deck just like isn't quite good enough, they're gonna be like, Carnage Tyrant's the problem, not like my deck's maybe might not be good enough. Like this deck, like if we look at this deck, and I might make a change here. Let's take a look at the cards. And this is one of the things I really love about playing on the ladder system, is we get to like make changes to the decks as we go here. There are a lot of really good Carnage Tyrant answers in the format. And then someone just mentioned Edicts there, but I don't actually even think Edicts are the best answers. This deck actually has a bunch of Edicts in it. We've got 2 Plaguecrafters, and we've got 2 Eldest Reborns in our sideboard. I actually think the best Carnage Tyrant answer in black is Direfleet Poisoner. I was playing this in the Pirates deck, the Blue-Black Pirates deck that I've been working on, and I saw a Grixis deck or something playing some of these in their sideboard, and I think this is like a really good, clean answer to Carnage Tyrant. So I think I'm actually going to work a couple of copies of this into the deck here. This card's like pretty reasonable against some of the other aggressive decks in the format too, because it's just like it's basically like another 2-mana removal spell, effectively. So I'm gonna put a couple Direfleet Poisoners in the board. Yeah, I think Poisoner's great. It's nothing like, it's just like a rare, so it's not gonna be like worth a ton of money, but I think it's just like good technology. Like there are a variety of good ways for you to be able to answer Carnage Tyrant in this format, and on almost every color has reasonable answers to Carnage Tyrant. So let's throw a couple of those in the sideboard here. Honestly, I could even see going up to 3 of them if I expected to play against a lot of Carnage Tyrants. I think blue-red is probably the only color combination that doesn't have a fantastic answer to Carnage Tyrant, and even that color combination has like Crackling Drake. And you could even go as big as to like play the 7 mana Meteor spell that deals 20 damage to everything. I would just like to thank everybody that's still hanging out here tonight. We've got almost over 1,200 people. If you're new, my name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I stream pretty much nothing but Magic the Gathering. We focus on Constructed exclusively here, so we play Modern and we play Standard here on this channel. All of our Standards done on Magic Arena. This wonderful deck and most of the decks that we play on this channel are viewer-submitted deck lists. If you're interested in potentially having me play one of your decks on the channel in the future, be sure to check out bit.ly/HugelSellout or head over to jeffhoagland.com and click the Submit Debt link in the navigation at the top. All the details on how that works can be found there. Target creature gets haste. Ready to get motivating? This thing has Mentor and First Strike. Yeah. Alright, Poppy needs a 2/3. Poppy needs a 2/3. Yeah, that's a really good one, actually. Let's library the crap out of that one. I'd have to imagine a matchup like this is probably pretty good for us. We've got Shocks, Cravings, and Lightning Strikes in our deck on top of like reasonable 2-drops. Yep. So, oh wow, this is actually really good for them, right? Like, they can motivate this, make it a 3-attack guy, and then attack with this. They get to power up this deck, yep. It's pretty good. This is now a 3-3 with first strike. I think I'm gonna trade here. I think I just have to pass here. Are there any good Marshall decks in Standard? Marshall. Some of the tokens decks we're playing, Beneficial Marshall. Is my opponent gold ranked, or is that a bronze thing? I can't tell. You probably can't tell either, because it's behind my scrolling banner in the corner. I haven't shilled tonight. I need to set up my... I don't have my ad screen set up on this computer up here. Need to be a good little shill and set those up, I think. Go ahead and just get hungry here. Looks like a sellout rank. Do. That is a lot of tutus, friend. There's a lot of tutus. So I can't, I don't really want to Experimental Frenzy here, because I got like these 2 Doom Whisperers in my hand. So let's cast Diabolic Edict here. They're gonna sacrifice a creature. We're gonna hit for 6 next turn. If they have a way to kill this Doom Whisperer, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble. But if they don't, the 6/6 is gonna stabilize the board very well for us. They can't kill this one. It'll set up a roadblock, and then the second one will lock the game up most likely. Yeah, no attack there. If they pump the brakes, they're probably dead at this point. So, the idea with this deck, and actually seems like a neat one, is that with Frenzy out, the Surveil on Doom Whisperer is like incredibly powerful, right? Same thing with Dismissive Pyromancer, letting you discard and draw cards. So we have a few different ways to like manipulate the top of our deck with Frenzy in play to arguably like be able to scroll through a lot of our deck very quickly. Yeah, Banefire would be a little rough. I'm gonna put 2 Pyromancers into play, and the next turn we'll probably get the Experimental Frenzy going. I think I'm just gonna pump the brakes here. Just like want to be pretty defensive here. They're at 1 card in their hand, so like unless it's like exactly the Fireball card, we should be in a pretty good spot. It says prevents non-combat damage to other creatures. Sure. So really happy that I kept the Doom Whisperers at home here. Yeah, this is attack and then hope for the best, basically. I guess I have to throw away one of my things here. So this thing's gonna end up at a 3/3 with double strike and trample. So I'm gonna trade here. I'm gonna trade, eat, trade, chump block. So I'm gonna end up with just a Doom Whisperer in play, and they're gonna end up with oh, he has first strike. I forgot about that. Probably should have killed Tajik. I could go either way. So I'm gonna end up without a Doom Whisperer. I'm gonna end up with 1 Doom Whisperer versus 2 3/3s. I think my blocks end up being the same there regardless. It's possible I shouldn't have blocked with the Pyromancer. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do the Experimental Frenzy. Frenzy should allow us to take over the game pretty quickly. So we'll get to see the top card of our deck, and then we'll be able to play cards off the top of our deck, with the exception that we can't play cards from our hand. Really glad I didn't get first skin attack with a Doom Whisperer last turn. We would have been very dead to the Tajik otherwise. It's important to recognize your role in these games, like when you're ready to pivot and when you're not. Like getting in the 6 points of damage too soon there just like wasn't worth the potential downside of a haste creature like they had. If they want to attack here, they can like trade one of their creatures for my Pyromancer basically, but that doesn't seem particularly profitable for them. That's a shock. Ha! That's good to note, Civilized Scholars. You can like shuffle the card up from underneath it basically. You can, but only if it's an instant. So like with this sorcery, I couldn't cast it before I drew it. So, I think I'm actually just going to let that hang out there. I don't really want to pay health. I don't really want to cycle with this. I think I'm going to use this to kill the Sunhome Stalwart. I think I'm going to go ahead and pass here. Well, maybe I just want to keep this to loot. I could shuffle with Field. Yeah, shuffle with Field actually sounds great. Let's do that. Forgot about that. Good catch. Field of Ruin gives us a redraw here. Find a 1 or a 2 on top of our deck. I guess the field could theoretically be valuable with the Legions landing here at some point, but there's a good chance they're just never going to flip this over too. I could have a 3 on top too because I'm getting an untapped land into play. Or 4. What do you think of Jund? Potentially, I don't know. One of the things that's worth noting: create 2 soldiers. Your things get 1/1 till end of turn. That's annoying. So they're gonna get to. So I'm gonna get kind of punished for burning the Field of Ruin here, because they're gonna get to do this. So they're gonna get 2 attackers here. So they're gonna mentor one of their things, gonna flip the Legion landing. So getting kind of punished for being aggressive with the Field of Ruin, especially when we just like straight up didn't get a payoff with it. So I'm only gonna take 2 on this attack, which is nice. So I'm gonna move to blocks. I'm gonna go ahead and have this eat here. I'm gonna have this block a 2/2. And then before damage happens, I'll have the Pyromancer sacrifice to kill their 3/3. Then we'll take 2 and go to 6. So they're gonna end up with 2 2/2s. Unless they have a land in their hand, they actually can't activate the Adanta this turn, so that's nice. If they have a Shock or something in their hand, we're probably going to be very dead. Like Shock or Lightning Strike if they like killed us before. Yeah, that's super brutal for us. I think I need to just pay to Surveil here. Just like need to find something live. Woof. Alright, it's a good draw. Kind of. It's a good pseudo draw, right? So during my upkeep, I'm gonna cast this. Kill their 3/3. During my upkeep still, I'm gonna cast this. Kill a 1/1. We'll draw a treasure map for the turn. Cast Plaguecrafter. Moment of Craving on top of my deck. All right, you could say we're doing it, chat. You could say we're doing it. We're not. What it is could potentially still be up for debate, but I think we are definitely doing it. Round of 4 here, so we're open to dodge fireballs and like kicked fight with fire out of them. Kicking fight with fire, just like this is like real thing that's gonna happen at some point here, huh? Yeah, if we would have held the Field of Ruin for the Adanto, we'd be in a really good spot right now. I think we're still ahead at this current point in time, but we're definitely like have a series of draws where we could fall behind at this point. Blame a Pyromancer. Dragonskull. Blame a Lightning Strike. Do I blow up the Experimental Frenzy so I can play some of these cards out of my hand? I think I do, right? Especially since there's another one on top of my deck. I already played a land for the turn. I could have waited on that because I already played a land for the turn. I'm gonna go to attack with this, I think. Yeah, because if I attack with this, I have 6, 7, 8, 9. They actually have lethal with the kicked fight with fire next turn. I definitely should have held that up though. Like I gave away information with that activation. Well, I gave up some bluffing potential there with my sequencing because I forgot that I had already played a land for the turn. But if they don't kill us here and they don't kill the Doom Whisperer, we get to kill them with kicked fight with fire plus an attack. Been a good game. Get in there, you big demon. Yeah, I've really been impressed with the split cards in this format. It feels like the split cards generally there generally aren't that many split cards where like both sides are playable, and there are a lot of them that are very, very playable in this format. Blast you. Yeah. A lot of modal cards basically. Just like cards with modes increase the skill cap on formats because they allow better players to have more decisions, and generally games that involve more decisions tend to be better for players who are better at the game. Alright, so definitely want the Soots. Plaguecrafter's pretty bad here. Arguel's Bloodfest is pretty bad here. I think the Direfleet Poisoners are good enough. They have some extra ones. I guess they have a bunch of First Strikers, which makes the Poisoners maybe not good enough. Treasure Map seems fine for consistency. Fight with Fire is probably a little bit too slow, honestly. Brings me to 61 cards. Banefire slow. Alright, let's do it. Number 1 feature request for Magic Arena. Please put the total number of cards in my deck on both deck views, please. What's going on, Diva? Yeah, I'm gonna be running late on Wednesdays now, like late. Good morning to you on the other side of the world. I want to keep Trip Shocks against the aggro deck. We're on the draw. I don't know that it's a sneaker keeper, but like Trip Shocks Lightning Strike against the aggro deck sounds great. Never didn't have it, chat. Never forget, you just gotta believe. You just gotta believe. I believe. Never forget, chat, real decks have curves. Listen, my hand is full of Temples of Tilt, but it's a-okay. I haven't shocked yet because they could have a Tajik. Pro tip. Click on their main phase when they put this card into play and you want to kill it before it makes the token. Because if you get to their enter combat step, they're going to get a 1-1 and you're going to be very sad. I'm an hour ahead of you and I'm trying not to go to sleep until you get off at least. Well, don't stay up on my account, Rad. This is going to be our last deck though, so probably another 45 minutes to an hour or so. Oh, did they fix that? Does it automatically add a stop? That would be great if they did things like that, like automatically adding stops when cards like that happen. Just like remove those feel bads, basically. I assume this thing is about to add 1/1 counters here. And then I'm probably gonna 2-for-1 this, right? Like they're gonna add go to add a counter here. I'm gonna Moment of Craving it, and then I'm gonna like strike plus shock to kill this. Gosh, we're so unlucky, chat. We missed our 4th land drop. Just incredibly unlucky. I don't know. I think splashing a 3rd color comes at a real cost. Although I guess you gain shocklands doing that. What do you gain? 1 shockland. You gain exactly Overgrown Tomb. We don't have Stomping Ground yet. Playing full-on 3-color decks with only 1 shockland seems ambitious, to say the least. This deck is very good removal. When I was looking at the cards in this deck, I wasn't surprised when we lost to the green-black deck. I think they kind of mid-range a lot better than we do, but also not surprised that we seem to be doing well against my opponent's deck full of Boros cards. Like, we have Craving, Shocks, and Strikes, right? Just like all the things these little aggressive decks don't want to play against. So, Esper Control isn't really Esper Control. Esper Control is black-blue control with a very small white splash at the top end, whereas like a deck like this that would be interested in playing a full 3rd color, you wouldn't be a small splash, right? Like you'd be playing like 1, 2, and 3 mana spells in all 3 colors, which means that it's very different than how Esper functions. And this is kind of an awkward spot, right? Like, do I want to play this Experimental Frenzy? I think I do, but like, if there's a land on top of my deck, I'm like kind of sad that I played this out, right? I guess it's Cinder Barrens, like I'm not that sad. Alright, how good's the top of our deck? Pretty good. Alright, not amazing, but good enough. You're expecting a 3rd Whisper on top? Don't you put that juju on me. Sure. Don't you put that on me. This card is such neat design. Alright, I'm gonna leave this Lightning Strike on top of my deck in case they draw a Tajik or something like that. Like, I already played a land for the turn, so... Sure. So, more Surveil synergizes with Frenzy to a degree. Another Ritual of Soot on top of my deck. Deal. So next turn I can actually crack Frenzy and play Ritual of Soot. It's kind of appealing. I think I want to just clean this board out. That's a demon. Do I just demon? I'm at 10. Itty bitty bugle boy, company B. We gonna mentor up the bugle boy here. If they have a way to kill this Doom Whisperer, I could actually be in a lot of trouble here. When in doubt, play the 6/6 out, right? Do I think it's worth surveilling? I do not. That's why I didn't do it. I think we're a pretty strong favorite the longer this game goes, so I'd rather just like make sure the game gets prolonged as much as possible. gonna go ahead and crack this at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and play this Seekers Squire out and draw this land off the top of my deck. These demons gonna take over the game pretty hard here. Get our block on there. We're gonna get to flip the Legion's landing, but I've got the Field of Ruin in my hand to like, keep that spot covered. Again, just like looking to preserve my health total at all costs so I don't just like get burned out of this game. I've got enough large bodies to keep the board pretty much on lock. It's a pretty good one. 29 cards left. That is true. We are kind of counting down here. Alright, I don't really care about that. It's like Seekers Squire just trades here. That attack doesn't make sense, yeah. I think you're just supposed to pass the turn to me. Let's start with this. This will leave me a little bit of mana left after. Putting the demon out here. Experimental Frenzy. That one gets it right there, actually. We're going to be ready to get going with that again here in a hot second. Like next turn I can go like Doom Whisperer, Doom Whisperer. So like keep getting defense up. Actually, next turn I just go like Doom, Doom, and then like I have 24 in the air. It's like casual. Actually I go Doom, Doom, and I probably attack them for 6. Like come at me. This card is very, very good. This is one of the reasons why I've really liked blue-black mid-range / control a lot. Like the fact just like gives your deck a way to close the game out. I could go Doom Soot. That's true. I only have 1 card in hand. Do I just like attack them for 12 and go Doom Soot? Probably. Smash, smash. Boom, boom. Good night, moon. Do-do-do. Greg the Doom Whisperer. Yeah, I think if Doom Whisperer was legendary, it would be much worse. It obviously isn't a strict downside because of things like cast down in the format, but I think not being able to have multiples out would be much, much worse like this. You'd only play like 3 of them instead of like jamming 4 in most black decks. Does anybody else remember when they introduced Mythic Rares forever ago and they were like, Mythic Rares are not a cash grab, these are going to be like special unique cards, they're not just going to be like 4x constructed staples, and now we like live in the world of like Doom Whisperer and Grimflayer. Just like, yeah, there's no way this Mythic Rarity thing is a cash grab. And Teferi. Well, I mean, like, Planeswalkers were always intended to be Mythic Rarity, right? Like, you could argue that, like, maybe they invented it for Planeswalkers, but, like, they started putting all these other cards that are, like, not unique designs, just, like, in the Mythic slot. Yeah, this deck's got a lot going on. It does make me wonder, like, is there more surveilling or, like, top-of-your-deck manipulation you could be doing with Experimental Frenzy? Someone else mentioned a green-red Frenzy deck that utilizes some explore stuff as well. That seems potentially very interesting. Lotus Cobra was the beginning of the end. Yep. Don't pretend it's about limited. Don't even for a second tell yourself the lie that Mythic Rarity exists to protect limited. I don't know who you're kidding with that. You're lying to somebody, probably yourself. Neat. All right, sweet. Double Frenzy here is pretty good. Looks like the opponent's playing a counterspell deck. Ooh, this sequencing is really punishing for us. Like, let them use their mana efficiently there. Do I lead on... I think I lead on Rekindling Phoenix here. Because, like, this could potentially bait a counterspell. Just, like, want to play, like, must counter thing, must counter thing, must counter thing. Main deck Disdainful Stroke. Let the inbreeding begin. It's like, you know, if this format ends up being like a main deck Disdainful Stroke format, it's like super inbred. It's like how much black green is there? This is like a thing we're doing. I've been sabotaged, chat. Why does the Surveil mechanic tilt you? The Surveil mechanic is quite good. It's a very introducing mechanic that adds a lot of strategy and depth to the game. So, this is the point in the game where people who say they hate the Teferi decks, they're not conceding to the Teferi deck soon enough. One of the things that makes the Teferi decks tough to play against is that when the Teferi deck wins the game's not over. You get to keep playing Magic, but you shouldn't keep playing Magic. There's a point in the game where you cross what's effectively a point of no return, and you can no longer win the game. Your opponent isn't killing you yet, but you can no longer win the game. If you're able to recognize that point and concede when it happens, you'll be a much happier person in general. But Banefire, yep. I had somebody out of land with a Teferi ammo they refused to concede until I saw win condition. Yeah, that's their prerogative. But, like, it's funny to me how there's definitely a strong correlation between the number of people who complain about the control decks and the people who, like, the Venn diagram overlap of number of people who complain about the control decks being annoying and people who don't concede to the control decks soon enough. Like, there's a lot of overlap in those two groups. Can't seem sweet. Needs a couple of lands, but like Seekers Squire can hopefully help us find those. I made a Teferi deck take 2 hours and 45 minutes to kill me by milling me. Man, who hurt you? What was your life like growing up that you made somebody do that? I would like to apologize on behalf of whoever hurt you in real life to make that be a thing that was worth doing with your time. So my curve here is pretty sweet. I get to curve... You get to curve Phoenix into Doom Whisper into Frenzy, which is just like good clean living here. Sweet. Magic is a game, so from my perspective, unless I'm at a high-level tournament, it's worth fighting for those few percentage points. It purely isn't worth the detriment to my attitude. Yeah, I agree, Lighthammer. Like, when you're super far behind, if you're, like, single-digit percentage points, like, unless there's a lot on the line, just, like, move along with your life. Just, like, really doesn't cost too much to do that. Especially at something like Arena, where you can just, like, get to the next match right away. Like, at a tournament, honestly, I'm more likely to try and eke out those percentage points because, I just don't have anything to do for the next hour, rather than, like, rather than anything else, like, for other reasons. It's funny, I think I probably concede more matches early when I'm hungry than when I'm not. Like, if I feel like I need to get food, I'm definitely more willing to concede quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and play out Doom Whisperer here, a second one, just like puts lethal in play. If they have a sweeper, they have a sweeper, and if they have a sweeper, I get to play Experimental Frenzy next turn, which would be nice. Honestly, Food Breaks is part of the reason I think I'm gonna play Elves in Modern at the Invitational in December. Elves is definitely a lunch break deck. That deck like regularly plays 5-match leagues on Magic Online in like, you know, an hour flat. Pretty happy with how I sideboarded here. Jeskai doesn't run Settle or Nova, apparently. So, like, one of the things that you could do that's going to cost you percentage points is, especially early in a format like this, like, don't assume that particular color combinations are, like, strictly defined. Like, there's still a lot of exploration to be done in this format, and I think, like, assuming that, like, this archetype does or doesn't play a given card based on its colors is just, like, probably setting yourself up for disappointment. Play Geist. I guess Geist is pretty bad. I guess Elves is pretty bad against Blood Moon, too. I'm not a fan of the Geist deck losing to Blood Moon. I don't know, I know the Elves deck is good. I don't think I've ever played a good deck at an Invitational before, so I kind of want to just, like, lock into something that's good early and then, just work on Standard. Because, like, there's a lot of work to be done in Standard. Like, I feel like I stand to gain more percentage points working on Standard than I do working on Modern. Why do I say what about Modern? I'm not sure which part you're referring to. Plague Toglandian. I hope your plague clears up soon. I've been enjoying making the arena content. I don't know how I feel about Bloodfast in this matchup. Moving from grindy control decks to combo did a lot for my mental health. Yep. It's also fun to be the bad guy on occasion too, right? Like when you spent the entirety of like your Magic career like grinding out little incremental bits of value, just like playing Tron or a combo deck every once in a while feels good. That you'll focus on Standard and we'll take a break from Modern. So what's a good way to phrase it to deliver the message that I want? In general, in my experience, I think there are more edges to be gained in a format like Standard than there are in a format like Modern. I don't think that makes Modern a bad format, but I think the fact that Modern is fairly solved or mostly solved, depending on how you want to look at it. Whereas in Standard, if you're willing to innovate, generally in good Standard formats, if you work on innovating, you'll gain more percentage points than you do in a format like Modern, where there's like more decks going on. It's easier to attack a format that has, you know, 4, 5, 6 decks than a deck with 50 decks in it. Generally speaking, the best way to attack a 50 deck format is just like racing them with something linear.
I can no longer stand by and hold that thought.
All right, if I hit a untapped land here, we can kill this with Banefire. If I don't hit an untapped land, we're probably going to be in a lot of trouble. I suppose I can Lightning Strike plus Banefire here. I'm just going to draw some cards. I think I'm actually just going to like draw 2 more cards here. I think the people that are complaining about black-green being too good are like kind of lazy and looking for a cop-out to not do work.
We need to move quickly.
It's always easy to make up an excuse for not doing work than it is to actually do the work. You have examples of tier 1 decks that would be good to start building towards and grinding with some constructed events. Are you talking about for Standard? A really cheap Standard deck to be building right now is the mono blue tempo deck's a great choice. If you enjoy tempo decks, that's a lot of fun too. I mean, I have access to basically every card on Arena at this point, and the mono blue tempo deck is arguably one of my favorites among them. If you prefer mid-range decks, the green-black mid-range deck has pretty much popped up as an established one of the better decks in the format. Not unbeatable by any means, but definitely very strong. Alright, so if this X is 5 or more, this can't be countered or prevented. So I'm going to go ahead and Oh, wow. I really just, like, missed on straight missed on land drops there, huh? I guess I'm going to go ahead and Duress now and hope they don't have double counterspell, so this Plaguecrafter can stick. I mean, in the lazy people's defense, like, it's been a long time since we didn't have, like, a Rancid standard format, so, like, it's like, if they haven't played a good standard format in a while, it's a double counterspell here. I'm not sure we're beating double counterspell here. Actual factual cancel. So, like, if there's actual cancel in their deck, does that mean they have the full 8 other, like, cancel pluses? They must have the full 8 cancel pluses if they, like, are an actual factual cancel, right? I mean, they must be at least 9, or they're out of uncommon wild cards. That's fair. Or, I mean, most people have, like, piles of extra uncommon wild cards, right?
You know what? I'm not done yet.
The Arguel's Bloodfast is not free in this matchup. Like, the opponent's deck, like, with the Ionize and Lightning Strikes, they kind of pressure our health total here. Hopefully we rip an untapped land next turn so I can Banefire and kill this Teferi. If we don't rip the untapped land next turn, I'll probably Lightning Strike plus Banefire the Teferi. Hope to get it out to play that way. What are they playing here? Invoke the Divine deal. Can I get an untapped land? Why are you not Blood Crypt? Why are you not Blood Crypt?
Don't make another move.
I'm not going to Banefire this turn. I'm going to let them draw another card because I want the Banefire to resolve. I think they're pretty likely to have another counterspell here. Cinder Barrens gets asked that a lot. So Cinder Barrens, where you been? What you doing? Yeah, Rares has definitely been the bottleneck for me. Yeah, they could have Syncopate. This Teferi's just drawn so many cards. Their hand has 3 more Teferis. It's sad because it's probably true. Oh gosh, am I dead? There was a very small window during which you could craft the fancy full art walkers. So I believe if you haven't crafted them already, you can no longer craft them. I believe. All right, they have 3 cards in their hand. The Teferi's dying. Maybe like their cards in their hand are bad, and we can have a chance here.
Okay, that was uncalled for.
I should have upkeep activated this treasure map to scry that land that I drew to the bottom. So if we scry a card I don't want to the bottom at the end of their turn, during my upkeep we'll scry again. Yeah, there's a lot of things that kill me at this point. Just like, don't play around things you can't beat. I would love a Doom Whisperer, thank you. And Doom Whisperer is actually a great draw here, because it's like a must counter threat, and then like this Experimental Frenzy is like also a must counter threat. So like if they counter this and then can't counter the Experimental Frenzy, we'll be in a good spot. Wow, multiple main deck Disdainful Strokes. Wait, is this postboard? This is postboard, I'm a liar. Wouldn't be too surprised to see the counterspell as well. Yep. Stroke me, baby. So, unfortunately, I'm out of lands and can't flip this treasure map this turn, which sucks. I do, however, get to upkeep scry with it. Ray says, I think I can do better than Pyromancer here. I lied. I cannot do better than Pyromancer. Good news is if I don't die the next 3 turns, I get to draw 2 cards a turn. The code for the promo art walkers on Arena was sent to your email address that was registered to the closed beta account. Okay. All right. You know, I probably should hold that land, because the Pyromancer could turn that land into a spell in the future. Oh, he's dead anyways. Deal. Ah, Chad, I knew he was dead. I knew he was a dead man walking. Ah, lightning strike. Got him at the virtual 19, chat. Got him on the ropes. I love that there's a pass turn lever just like right in your face. That's so good to encourage people to click that might not otherwise click it. See 25 lands to the Banefire, right? Hey, Cave Dog. Thank you for the 2-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, it's a big Doom boy. Start with this and see where we go from there. Survey says leave that one right where it's at, and then next turn I will play the Duress before I Doom Whisper. So I'm gonna like wait a turn on this, that way we can kind of like spot check for a counterspell. And like obviously if they have Dub's counterspell, like it is what it is, but this way if they only have one counterspell, we'll be able to force the Doom Whisper through it. So you can kind of build your own 2 end step button. You can click on their end step and then hit pass turn. So like watch, if I click here and then click pass turn, it's gonna stop on their end step. So it's 2 clicks, but it is still a shortcut. You see how it stops and then gives me the my turn button? Okay, I mean, their hand is pretty bad here. So someone asked about playing the Field of Ruin for deck thinning. So deck thinning is pretty statistically insignificant. And on top of that, I have Experimental Frenzies in my deck, which the Field of Ruin potentially could shuffle my deck for after the fact, giving me actual value other than the statistically insignificant deck thinning. Also, like, my opponent's deck could have something like Azcanta in it or another utility land, so like I can hold the Field of Ruin to potentially get some value that way too. Zarek, yep.
I perfected the perfect storm.
This is probably going to shoot the Doom Whisperer, I'd imagine. I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Would like to live dangerously. I think I'd like my last Frenzy or another threat here. I'm going to go to 1, because YOLO. 1 and 0 are different numbers, chat. That's brutal. Do I contempt this? Nah, I'm probably just supposed to strike it. If I contempted this, I could surveil again, which would be nice, but I think I just need to do this. Maybe I'm supposed to wait to lightning strike this until I attack next turn, because attacking with this would force them to use the seal away or these, whereas they're not going to use those right now if they're not saving their planeswalker with it. Dismissive Pyromancer is sweet. My sequencing here is sloppy. I should obviously attack before I play the Dismissive Pyromancer. No, I just mean the percentage points that you're gaining Lost Thorgoyf are like really minute versus like the very real upside that this card holding this card in my hand could offer later. I'm into Arena for... I had to put another $100 in to build the decks that I'm playing tonight, so I'm in for like 900 bucks now. You get like a lot of decks for a lot less than that. Like the amount of money I've put in is like, I've built a lot of like, I'm getting pretty fringe at this point. Like the Alley's pile of rainbow colored cards just like really put me over the top of like how many dollars I had to put in. The five color deck has a lot of stuff in it like that. This is probably taking the Dismissive Pyromancer out here, I'd assume, since it's letting me cycle through my deck. Wonder if I have enough actual win cons in my deck. They want to turn these into basic lands for me. I think I'm okay with that. Am I all in an arena and off of Magic Online? Nope. No, we're still, so you can find my schedule on my website. I've got it split up on there on what formats I'm playing when. I'm doing Standard on Arena every Tuesday during the day and Wednesdays in the evening, and I'm doing Modern on Magic Online during some of my other streams, Monday, Wednesdays, and part of Friday. I actually don't have another Banefire. Playing that out is actually like a little bit risky because they could have an Ionize. Yeah, until Arena has a non-rotating format, I will definitely be playing, you know, some Magic Online with some consistency. Non-rotating formats are a lot of fun. The standard format's great, but like things like Modern are just like offer a play experience that Standard never can. Need more Banefire, right? There are only 19 cards left in my deck. Part of me starting to wonder, like, do I have enough cards left to, like, actually win the game? This Rekindling Phoenix is a pretty good draw. Yeah, if they have Ionize, I can, like, get my own one, too. That's for sure. They're also flooding here, which is nice. Lawbringer. Enters the battlefield. Each opponent cascades as their sorcery spell during their next turn. So I'm going to let this resolve, and then I'm going to go ahead and Contempt this big bad guy in response to the, trigger. Doomblade your monster. Up to 3, look at that. God bless. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with Rekindling Phoenix here. Put them to 3, puts them to Lightning Strike. If I have Lightning Strike left in my deck, there's 1, 2... I think there's 1 Lightning Strike left in my deck. I'm pretty sure I left... No, I think they're all 3 out. 1, 2, 3. I think I only left... I think I boarded 1 out. Bedtime. It is in fact almost bedtime. I hate to look and see what's in my deck here, which is nice. Just a couple of basics. Eldest Reborns, Doom. Yeah, I don't have Lightning Strike left in my deck, as mentioned. Yeah, Eldest Reborn would be pretty good. Experimental Frenzy, also not bad. Yep. I'm gonna elect to not play around another Settle the Wreckage here. Have you tried Boros Angels yet? Yeah. Yeah, you can find a video with Boros Angels on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. This game's been a slog. It's like, it's funny too, like, it's funny because some of the people I've heard tell me that, like, they don't like Standard. They're, like, the same people that, like, try to force, like, these unplayable control and mid-range decks in Modern. I'm just like, Standard is, like, the king format of, like, being able to play, like, derpy, unplayable mid-range and control decks, right? Like, this format is just, like, all about the grind. most of the time in a way that like Modern's just not, right? Like Modern's a format where you're just like oops and die on like turn 1, 2, and 3, turn 4. Standard is too grindy. Let me play Junded Modern, right? Yeah, that's what good standard formats are. I agree. All right, so what was this deck? What was this deck doing? So, kind of interesting. We definitely got to abuse Experimental Frenzy a few times. I was not surprised that we died to green-black in a blaze. I was not surprised that we beat the little aggressive deck that we played against. You said you played. I said we played a Grixis Goryo's as foretold, Judge Jason, which does have Living End in it. It's a Grixis Living End deck. You can find that deck list is on my website on the Modern page. You can also find that one on the YouTube channel. We've not played dedicated Blue-Black Living End though. I don't think. Or maybe we did and it was bad. I don't think it had Mausoleum Secrets in it though. I think we played a Blue-Black Living End that wasn't Grixis, but it definitely wasn't good. I feel like if I wanted to work on this deck some more, the big problem I would be trying to figure out how to solve is like how do you grind through the green-black deck? And I'm honestly not sure offhand like what the best answer to that is. The biggest problem is that like your Experimental Frenzies here is like one of your best cards for grinding, but the green-black deck has access to 6-mana Vraska and Vivian, which are our main deck ways to destroy enchantment. So I don't think that that's gonna ever be a good angle to fight from. Yeah, like the problem is that like you just like can't grind with assassins. You just can't grind through their planeswalkers with enchantments. Is the issue? Yeah, they have Assassin's Trophy too. So I honestly, maybe there's a card out there somewhere that like I'm not thinking about that you can like include in a deck like this to help you out grind green black, but it honestly might just be like you want to shelve an idea like this if green black's really popular and then like pick it back up again like when the small aggressive decks like can figure out how to get under the green black deck successfully. At any rate, I've been going for a little bit over 6 hours here tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It's a little bit past 2 a.m. here, Cornfield time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to go exactly this late every Wednesday, but every Wednesday moving forward on this channel, I'm going to start about 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Cornfield time. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter for notifications of when I go live and with what. If you didn't catch all of the Sweet Standard and Singleton action that we played here tonight, I'm going to hit publish on a bunch of YouTube videos here on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland, before I go to bed. If it's your first time watching us play Standard and you want to see more of me playing Standard here on Arena, there are a ton of videos up there at this point. We've played Blue-Black Control decks and Blue-Black Pirates and Mono Blue Tempo and Aggro decks and Red-White Angels and Green-White Tokens and all sorts of great stuff. And again, literally everything I play gets archived on the YouTube channel. If you're into Modern and you haven't seen my stuff before, there's weeks worth of Modern up there. So everybody, have a good evening. And I don't think I'm going to be on tomorrow at all, but I will definitely be back Friday. My Friday stream is probably going to start about noon, and I'm going to do a couple of Modern Leagues, and I'm going to follow it up with some more Standard on Arena, because this format and this application are both really sweet, and I've been enjoying them both a lot. Everybody have a good day. Or a good day. People on the other side of the world, you're just waking up. Have a good